Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So now we are starting from top 8, which we have a Bruce versus Monster Strike, and you can see the Bruce player is like immediately shocked because he didn't know anything about Monster Strike. So he's like checking every single cards, which is very interesting to see Monster Strike getting in the top 8. It is a strong deck, it's a Uriel deck, so you can see a very fast play right here. Which Bruce is kind of a slower deck because you need to wait a turn to get into a final rush, and you can see the Bruce player immediately drop a order, but of course he didn't actually know what the Monster Strike deck is going to do. So he hit into a defensive, so he can push even further. And now going to the Gabriel right, so he can look at the top deck and see what he wants. It can be a trigger, or it can be like this. You rest your Gajadora and put that card in your monster box, so you can use it after. And calling a Tsukuyomi, Kanawa-san rest the card and bring out the Non-Non, which is can be a very good card to retire from room. But needs to be boosted and need to Soul Blast, which Uriel will Soul Blast a lot as well. So he's completely going all out to rush. 3 lines attack, which is a very important play against Bruce, and now get a trigger and also being guarded. But it is a good play, and you can even see him dropping the Kawashi early game. You need to basically person right to get her to be very useful, but he decided to put them all out, give as much pressure to the Bruce player, which I think he did practice a lot against Bruce, because we all know during the set 2 format Bruce is a very strong deck, and one of the counter is actually playing extremely fast, which is what Monster Strike deck is very famous to do. Because even when you do your 10-roll gacha, you are killing your deck very fast, so you are not going to play a long game. And Uriel is a very strong deck with multiple attacks, so keeping a good fast pace, doing whatever you can to strike your opponents, drop all their guard, all their hands, forcing them to drop a lot of resources to protect themselves in order to survive, then you already win against a Bruce player. Because if a Bruce player can put out a good field, they just going to suffer a lot, even if they can go into final rush. If they can't get their Eden, can't get their Leonard out to try to gain the advantage, then there will be a problem. And the Monster Strike player is actually going first, so yeah, we have the Bruce player being too excited, so he did the ride deck to ride again. So this is a kind of a little warning right there. But fortunately, he didn't draw any extra card and such, so it didn't affect the game too much. But yeah, you can see how shocked it is. So the Hedges is here, just understanding the situation. We just talking through about this, but yeah. Yeah, so it didn't affect the gameplay, so we just let it keep going. But you can see he's like quite shocked, and the Monster Strike player is like, don't go in that fast, because if your if a Bruce player actually go first, then they can survive 1 turn from Uriel and get to final rush and probably can come back. But now it's a different story. So he get a Aiden. Let's see what he is going to make use of Aiden, because if Aiden hits, can counter last one and retire something. So going to his normal play, attacking regards. And attacking that, but of course Monster Strike player is not going to let him hit because he don't want more regards to be gone. And now going to the Uriel turn. so he can even start building up his advantage by using Uriel's skill, because whenever you can't call any stuff yet because you need to person right, but if you do want to kill a back row, kill all the back row, you still can. Okay, just Vanguard going in, and then another trigger and double trigger, so 3 damage crits, hitting into 3 no triggers, so that's already 4th damage. And non is going in without using skill, taking another damage, getting front. So this one is quite easy to guard, and the Bruce player isn't giving up yet, so yeah, he's still trying to guard, at least getting into quick return and see if he can come back. But you can see how fast a monster strike deck can do, even though there is a double crit trigger, but sometimes that happens and you need to work for it. And now let's see what's going to drop in order to gain the boost. Actually dropping a great one, so only 3 cards in hand. Nothing further he can do right now because he's not in final rush yet, but he can try to clear regards as he usually do, and hopefully he can get a heal or anything that can save him for next turn, because next turn his opponent is likely going to person right, and that will be a crazy turn. Looks like he's struggling, but being put on 5 damage while your opponent is on 1 damage, this is a very hard situation, and really need to work very hard to catch up. And here is explaining Uriel's skill. When pressing right, and when this unit attacks, you can choose any number of cards in soul, call them to regard circle, and then put all the rest of the soul that you didn't call to the drop. So once you attack and use that skill, your soul will be empty. So like non cannot soul blast to do the guard restrictions after you will attack. So now Bruce is attacking non and he let him go. Let her go. And Aiden attacking the grade 2, which can be a great shield, because whenever your opponent is grade 3, that card will get 5 shield. So person right into another Uriel, he is so ready to finish his opponent's off while he's on 5. Okay, call it Komachi -5. Make sure every attack hits and plus 10 gauge the front row already, and using Uriel's skill to call a Gabriel and put on top, and that will be a trigger. We are quite certain. And here comes another trigger back in, take damage, and that's game. Extremely fast. Yeah, so next round we'll still be seeing the Monster Strike player get into play, so stay tuned for more Monster Strike victory road, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.